Hello friends! Spring is here and Easter's just a few weekends away. I've put out my cute little spring quilt. My spring apron is done and ready to go. And now it's time to make some sweet, bright and cheery spring placemats. First step is to grab our bottle of Best Press, spritz our fabrics, and give them a nice press before we get started with our cutting. Now we're going to stack all 4 fabrics and trim them up according to your pattern, 14 inches by 20 inches. Keep your fabrics stacked, and now refer to your pattern, diagram number 1, and measure and mark all of your points. These will serve as your cutting lines. Now that your fabric is marked, you're going to cut through all layers along the marked lines, in the order shown on diagram number 2 in the pattern. Now here's where the fun happens. You're going to shuffle your pieces so that each placemat has all 4 of the fabrics represented on the top. But in each placemat, those fabrics will be in a different position. Now refer to diagram number 3 in your pattern, and we are going to sew these pieces back together using a 1/4 inch seam. Sew them in the order as shown in diagram number 3. As you can see, when we go to sew those 1/4 inch seams, we are going to make sure that those points go right to the very edge of its adjoining piece. Now that we've pieced all of our tops, we're going to give them a good pressing. Now don't worry, they are not going to be even on the edges, so don't worry about that. Just give them a good pressing, and then we are going to trim them up. As I said before, these tops are not going to be even along the edges, so now we are going to trim them up to approximately 12 by 18 inches. Okay, so now that we've pieced and pressed our placemat tops, we're going to start putting them together. So we're going to get about 1 yard of thin batting and 1 yard of our backing fabric, and we're going to cut those as per your instructions. They'll end up just a little bit bigger than your placemat top, and then we're going to layer them together. So we're going to put the batting, the backing piece right side up, and your placemat top right side down. So these two will be right sides together. Okay, you can give them a little press if you want. And then we're going to bring this over to the machine, and we're going to sew approximately about 1/4 inch around the entire perimeter. When we go to sew our 1/4 inch around these 3 layers, I'm going to put on my walking foot. Reason being is, again, we are essentially quilting because we're going through the 3 layers here. So I'm going to put the walking foot on to avoid the shifting of these 3 layers while we're sewing. Okay, and now it's time to trim up the 3 layers. So using the top of the placemat as your guide, just trim through and continue trimming the other 3 sides the same way. And there you go. Now what I also like to do is just to lop off the corners there. Careful you don't cut through your stitch, because that'll give you a sharper point when you flip this right side out and push out your corners. So let's do that right now. Go to your opening here and we will flip this right side out. And then you can use a point turner. I'm just going to use my friction pen and pop that in there and just get those corners popped out nice and sharp, like so. And do that on all 4 corners. Before we begin quilting these, we're going to give them a nice final press with a little spritz of Best Press so that they lay nice and crisp and flat while we're quilting them. This opening here, I will stitch that down after I'm finished quilting it, and I do my nice little final top stitch around the edge. I will just fold this under, press it, and that'll get stitched down when I do my final top stitch around. So I'm going to repeat this with our other 3 tops, and then we will start getting this quilted up. Found some threads in the perfect colors for quilting the placemats. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like this, please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to place them in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching.